Namaskar, Anyang Hasanika. This is Sonu Trivedi, Director of the Swami Vivekanand Cultural Center at the Embassy of India, with you all today at the fourth session of the workshop on India at 75, focusing on commemorating its history and civilizational legacy, cultural diversity, progressive history, significant landmarks, and achievements by its people. The workshop is also highlighting upon some of the emerging issues in India-Republic of Korea partnership. Friends, we launched this workshop organized in collaboration with India Center at Busan University of Foreign Studies on August 27th by inaugural address in which was given by Sri Ram Madhavji. The theme was Transforming India Achievements at 75. In the second session of the workshop, Professor Srikant Kondapalli gave a lecture on strategic autonomy and geopolitical realities for India and Republic of Korea. We had the third session focused on the theme narratives of global media and politics, and the lecture was delivered by Professor K.G. Suresh. Today, friends, we are before you at this truly international forum to reflect upon economic diplomacy as a factor in India and Republic of Korea ties with a very distinguished speaker, Professor Soon-cheol Lee. Professor Soon-cheol Lee is a professor of Indian Business and Economics at Department of Indian Studies at Busan University of Foreign Studies. But friends, before coming to the main theme, let me briefly give you a glimpse about economic landscape of India and Republic of Korea and the partnership that we are going to further discuss. As we are all aware, India has gone profound transition. Over the last 7 decades, 1 billion of its citizens and the world have witnessed rapid social and economic transformation. In the initial years of independence, we had witnessed some teething troubles when the nation was born. It has grown step by step, and we today stand as a Vishwaguru, a land of unicorns and decacorns, a hub of innovation and knowledge, a tall, mature democracy, consolidating itself on the ideals laid down by the founding fathers of the Indian Constitution. Growth successes since liberalization in 1991 have not only led to significant development progress, but also it has changed countries' global outlook and international image. Owing to its large service sector and successes in information technology, it has evolved into a powerhouse of the global economy. Coming to South Korea, we have seen that it is also undergoing deep social and economic changes from an agrarian economy in 1950s to rapid industrialization and focus on cutting-edge technology in recent times. Republic of Korea has witnessed speedy recovery from a war-torn economy to stabilization and economic modernization, which has resulted in what became and now, as it is known, miracle on the Han River. It has transformed into an industrial powerhouse with a highly skilled labor force. Though India and Republic of Korea have pursued different economic paths for development since their independence, currently they share considerable synergies also. Republic of Korea is an export-driven economy and is drawn by India's huge market. It has developed considerable expertise in shipbuilding, steel, nuclear energy, heavy electrical machinery, etc., and has been investing in India in these areas. Similarly, Republic of Korea wants to take advantage of India's prowess in IT, software, and to combine it with its expertise in IT hardware, designing, engineering, and manufacturing. When Prime Minister Modi and President Moon met in July 2018, they jointly agreed that a bilateral trade should grow to $50 billion by 2030. Both countries are working hard to achieve this target. Currently, bilateral trade between India and ROK has been almost around $23.7 US. This is 23.7 billion US dollar. This is as per the data of December 2021. Investment is another priority area. Many Korean companies have invested in India. So friends, to discuss more about these issues and economic diplomacy, the opportunities and challenges for India and Republic of Korea, may I now call upon Professor Soon-cheol Lee to give his presentation and discuss the various opportunities that we have between the two countries. And also, let me briefly introduce Professor Soon-cheol Lee. Professor Lee is currently a professor at Department of Indian Studies, and he's also Dean of Career Development in the university. He's also serving as the Director of Institute for International Business in the Busan University since 2009. He has served as a research fellow at Korea Institute for International Economic Policy from 2005 to 2009. Professor Lee also joined as a Korean delegate for Korea-India Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. He has written extensively in the areas of Indian economic policy, foreign investment, FTA, trade, etc. He has a doctoral degree from University of Oklahoma. Professor Lee is also the founder director of India Center at Busan University of Foreign Studies. Professor Lee, it's a great opportunity for us to hear from you. Floor is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Sono Trivedi, and all friends from the India, Korea, and student. Namaskar. It actually this third academic workshop is very meaningful because this is the first seminar since the India Center opened. The India Center is opened last June with the many support from the India Embassy and the India Cultural Center in Korea. I'm nearly trying to making so many plans to expand the cultural business exchange between the two countries. So I need a lot of support from the friends. I will share my presentation. Okay, I'd like to make the presentation about the economic diplomacy as a factor in the India-Korea ties. First of all, I'd like to tell us about the India economic relations between the Korea and India. I showed this table and the figures. These figures show us the total trade, bilateral trade between two countries. Before 2002, the bilateral trade very minimal. It's very small. After that, after 2030, the trade increased very rapidly because the India economy grows very faster than any other countries. So the trade also going up with the India economic growth. But you have the 2009, there was the financial crisis. So you have the experience the relatively the slowdowns. But after with the SIPA in the 2010s, you also the total amount is increased there. But after that, it just stayed very not much changed. And then you are going to the in 2018, the amount is the reached the highest. Like the 156 and the 59, and with the corona is going down, and now recovering to the before the corona pandemic. This should show us two things. One is the total trade volume between the two countries, and another one is the ratio. This ratio is the export of Korea to India to Korea, and I'd like to tell about the total the trade of the total trade in 2022 only 2.6 amount, $6 billion reached, and then it goes up, and in 2010 it reached 20 billions with the Korea-India SIPA, and then it's just stay, and in 2022 it reached the highest 23.7. But lately, we are going down, but I'm sure it will be recovered pretty soon. I'll show the ratio. The ratio meaning is the trade gap between the Korean export and Indian export. In 28, it's pointed 1.4 times, and it's wider and 3 point. It means the trade imbalance is widened until the 2018. But fortunately, lately the gap has been continuously shrink and returned to the level of the 2009 and almost before the Korea-India CEPA. This is the Korea export item to India. In the 2010s, you have the automobile, cargo ship, lubricant oils, and steel, communication part, and any others like newspapers, color TVs part. In 2021, you have the lubricant oils of automobiles, semiconductors, and petrochemical products. It's almost the same as the 2010s items. This is the India export to the Korea. In 2010s, naphtha and carton, aluminum, and cereal, chemical materials, zinc. In 2021, also naphtha, aluminum, very similar. It's not much changed. This data shows us there is the complementary trade structure. I mean, the Korea's export to India mostly the capital goods, durable consumer goods, but the India export to Korea is the raw materials. We cannot see any structural change in terms of trade. Even export item from both countries just slightly changing. We can see again, we are not much to find any good change. It means if the industrial structure of the two countries continues unchanged and the India domestic demand has increased, then Korea export to Korea, India's export to Korea has been static or declining. For example, the naphtha is the Korea imported naphtha from the India 100% in 2010, but now we have only half. We imported only half. So if it means that there is big give us big implications. If there is no change in the structure between the two countries in the future, and also the rapid growth of the Indian economy continues to demand the domestic product has been the export to Korea. The trade imbalance between the countries never likely to decline or narrow. This shows the Korea's investment to India. Korea invested in India accumulated about $7.4 billion in 2021, and the 1994 their authors invested in India, and following the Samsung, HMI, Hyundai Motors India, LG, and Postkast the investor later on. And we have the CEPA here. And we mostly the companies which are engaged in India invested this period. But before the CEPA, many Korean companies invested. And then we have the not much invested this period, and lately the invest, but we have another problem about the COVID-19. Korea investment, Korea companies mostly invested the manufacturing sectors and trade-related industries, almost about 80% or 5%. Also, automobiles, almost half, and primary metals, 25%. Mostly the large companies invested. SM is pretty small. This is the India investment to Korea. The India direct investment increased about $100 million. The Tata Motors or the Sangyong Motors, each Mahindra companies. And mostly they focus on the motor industry, and then business service industry and wholesale and retail industries. This is the Korea-India CEPA. Korea and India launched the CEPA in the 2010s. India opened the 85%, Korea opened the 90%. Actually, this is the first time for India to open the more than 80%. The Prime Minister Modi visited Korea in 2015 and agreed to improve CEPA, and we have the 8th negotiation since 2016. In July 2018, two countries set up the goal of achieving the 50 billion in trade volume by 2030 and agreed on the early harvest packages. With the 8th round of the negotiation, the negotiation is suspended because of the COVID-19. I just heard this year the negotiation start again. This is the EDCF of Korea and India. Now, Korea-India Summit in 2015 then agreed the financial package support. Actually the Korea Exim Bank provided this loan with a very low interest rate compared to any other loan. India government asked the participating in the infrastructure development, like the railway station development, the metro project, and smart city. But finally decide only one project, this one, Nagpur Mumbai Intelligent Transport Systems. So we need more discussion about this project. Now I'm turning into the Korea economic diplomacy direction and strategies. There is the key diplomatic tasks. It's about 4. First one is the North Korea nuclear issues. It's very important for the Korea Peninsula's peace. And second one is the economic diplomacy and development. It's Korean government wanted the open international economic environment and is expanding cooperation with the emerging market countries and activity in response to climate changes. And third is pursuing cooperative development with the neighborhood countries. You have the China, Japan, Russia, even USA as the neighbor countries. They power affected the Korean Peninsula's peace. Also, lately the Korean government tried to establish the global pivotal state visions. It's about the global conference strategy alliance beyond the Korean Peninsula. It is firmly rooted in the shared value of promoting the democracy and rule-based international order, fighting corruption, and advancing human rights. President Yoon visited the global COVID-19 summit, IPEF, NATO summit. identify trying to get involved with the persisting changes, geographic, political, and the geo-economic realities, terrorism, cybersecurity. Also, we are considering more focus on the India-Pacific countries to collaborate more frequently. This is the actual economic security and science and technology development. We have the three implementation. One is the strengthen the economic and the security strategy channels. So we want to make the economic security dialogue, expanding the strength in the channel so for the economic security strategy consultations. And second is leading the establishment of new economic order and leading the participating in the negotiation for the India Economic Framework, IPEF, and active the partnership in discussions on the international issues, norms with the multilateral platforms. Korean government initiated negotiations by the IPEF sector, so like facilitating trade, establishing digital economy, technology standard, achieving the supply chain resilience, and decarbonization and clean energy, infrastructure building standards in the labor sector. Finally, the stance of the cooperation the key is about the supply chain, nuclear power, science and technology defense. Also, we are strengthening the infrastructures. Now I'm talking about the Korean national trade strategies. You have four. First of all, industry and supply chain linked trade. We'd like to identify the short-term disturbance, like disaster, pandemics, and make it stabilized. And also, you want to reorganize the structural supply chain. And second one is the innovative trade in the high technologies. We are accelerating the industrial innovations by promoting the high technology and manpower exchange. Also, you are following up the measures to create a practical cooperation in the high-tech fields. Third is the global green and digital trade. Responding jointly with the industry to environmental measures, and also expanding the digital trade network. And the fourth is the final one is the trade that contribute the international community. We want to discuss the international norms, standard for the international economic framework, and partnership and some challenges resolving. Now I'm talking about the why you have to make the cooperation with India. India is one of the world best growing economics and market. India attracted many FDI from all over the world, and so India economic the project is the first in the world in all 3 years. India also emerging the world manufacturing hub. Largest young people in the world and third largest growth of scientists and technicians in the world. And also there are so many government initiatives and provide the world-class infrastructure across the country. The global competition and the global innovation index also rising pretty much. You know, the India the business environment changes pretty quickly for pro business. No, this is the I think the India's outlook. First of all, the population and the economic size and internet user. Housing constructions and aviation market and highway, mobile subscribers, and the smart cities, consumer market, construction market, infrastructure, and startup. It's very bright. This is the major economic policy in India. India government initiated and make the movement of the Make in India, Digital India, Skill India, Smart City, Industrial Corridor, Startup Trade Policy. This all going to the change of the industrial structures and environment. Like going to the global manufacturing hub or digital knowledge society and the making the strong inclusive ecosystems. Also, India government is building a new India with a strategy for the new India S75. It bring the innovation, technology, enterprise, efficiency management together. So I'd like to mentions about how, what, and how to make the cooperation. You have to identify what two countries needs and also potential cooperative areas. India have the Make in India, Digital India, Skill India, Smart India, Industrial Corridor, Startup India, Expanding Exports. It's all going to the advanced manufacturing sectors and infrastructure improvement and change the society. Korea also focus on the manufacturers, bio, climate change, software-oriented society. So you had the respond to crisis or you want to restart of the growth engine and securing the secure technologies and R&D innovations. So I believe this is the good cooperating areas. First of all, the high-end skill and technology development and joint R&D investment, bio, nano, AI, academic and the forums, green environment, digital and the service sectors. Also, the manufacturing service is very important to both countries. Also, you make the cooperation in the GVC. Mostly many the countries interested in the GVC right now. I believe if you make the cooperation in this area, then the focus on the backward partitioning than the forward partitioning. It's going to the rubber, plastic, machines, equipment, automotive and transportation equipment, metal, and electronics and communication, and textile and wood product, petroleum. You can cover the most of them. Also, you have to improve the SIPA. We have open the additionally goods and the service sectors. Also, we are thinking about the overall liberalization, opening the product. Also, Korea have to think about opening the various service sector. I recommend the English Academy instructors, Hindi teachers, the Hindi second language options, and IT. Also, we have to reduce trade imbalance. We made removing SPS, TBT, and non-tariff barriers. EU also set up the bilateral economic cooperation channels. Also, you are making the cooperation, the international trade and market integrations. First of all, the capacity building across the government, institute, and business associations. And market integration is a good areas to make the corporations, setting the standard norm regulation. I'm nearly I believe that India is very strong in the setting up the standard and the regulation in the international environment. And also the shaping the multilateral order, and you can see the some new order in the global supply chain, market competitions, national procurement policies. We are also expanding regional and global link, the diaspora people to people's link. Now, I mentioned last week that we need so many papers from the India. I mean the export papers. They are very strong about. They are very good at the IT and engineering and any others. Finally, I'd like to mention about the India-Pacific strategy development. We make the we establish the joint strategy based on the value and mutual benefits. Establishing new strategy relations, and also we strengthen multilateral corporate network with the major countries. Thank you.
You have given us a very detailed perspective of bilateral ties between the two countries, beginning from the bilateral trade relations, then coming forward to the investment between the two countries. You have very nicely described how the trade relations, trade and commercial ties between the two countries, how it has evolved. And also you have outlined the key strategic issues which are involved in the region, and how it is providing a challenge to the bilateral ties between the two countries. Also, you have highlighted the Korea's national trade strategies and why India becomes important. And certainly because of the major changes that are taking place in India, as I had also highlighted in the introduction, the major economic policies that Government of India has initiated, like Make in India, Digital India, Skill India, Startup India, and the inclusive economic ecosystem which is being developed. So you have highlighted upon all these and how these could be potential areas for improving ties between the two countries. I'm sure all the participants who are present here today and also the students and researchers who are joining us would be interested in knowing more about these issues, especially when we talk about how we are focusing in India for making up an inclusive economic ecosystem. And then you have also highlighted some of the challenges and how to improve the relations. For that, you have focused on improving the SEPA itself and given several recommendations. I'm sure some of these recommendations will be able to convey it to our policymakers. Maybe when we are discussing and renegotiating SEPA, these could be taken into consideration while making changes in SEPA. So, Professor Lee, many thanks for your presentation. We now open the floor for discussion. I would request the participants, live participants who are present here today, you can either write your questions in the chat box or raise your hand. Meanwhile, Professor Lee, I have a question for you. You have discussed in detail about the bilateral ties, but I have this a very simple question, because when we talk about the trade ties between the two countries, generally only we are focusing on trade relations, and like you have given some recommendations of like introducing language, Hindi as a second language, and also English teachers. But India and Korea are two different countries having different political culture. So how important is it to understand the business culture of both the countries? Because I'm sure the companies which are going and having investment in India, they must be having problem in understanding the business culture. So what are we doing exactly to have an understanding about the business culture, so that these companies, and when the employees, when they go to India, or when Indian companies, when they come to Korea, they do not have to face a cultural shock?
Thank you. Actually, I am very interested about mostly the trade part, but I am also have researched why Korean companies not much invested in India. Also, they have some trouble in engaged in India. So mostly Korean companies, go to the very near country because of the transportation cost. You know, if I give the one example, if a Korea company go to the China, they can travel the business travel the only one day. They can go in the morning and they can come back to the evening. But if you go to the India, they have the at least 3 and 5 days. So time is another cost, and also the another is the labor cost. The labor cost is very similar. I mean, India labor cost is very similar as the South Asia and the China. Lately, the China wages increased, but anyway, the in India wages not much lower than any other countries. So compared to the any environment, the business environment, very similar with any neighborhood countries. So if we Korean company want to go want to invest in any country, then they will choose the very near country. So that's another reason. Second reason is mostly Korean companies built their own factories plants. They don't, the many multinational companies buy some plant or factories or companies in the India, but Korea companies, they don't want to buy. They want to set up their own facilities and their systems, because in the India system is not familiar with the Korean. So they want their own systems. That's why another one. The second is the cultural understanding. You don't have sometimes they say the Korean language and the very similar as the southern part of the language in India, but I don't believe the mostly there we cannot not much understand, not easy to understand the Hindi and any others. So that's why I ask them we need the study about the Indian languages. Hindi is the most famous and popular languages, and also national languages. So that's why we adopt the Indian language, because we are learning the language, meaning is that we can learn the culture. And finally, the government side, the government also mostly interesting in Southeast Asia and China. But until now, you don't have not much interesting in the India. So we have to. That's why you have to set up some strategies, the plan to make the cooperation. Also, for that, for this, I believe like presidential or the PM visited very regularly, or the ministerial visiting also make it regularly, and that's what we need, I think.
Thank you, Professor Lee, for responding to the question. May I now request Dr. Srijan? Dr. Srijan is teaching Hindi at Busan University of Foreign Studies, and he has a question, but let me also introduce him. He has been like a very integral part of India Center Busan, and played a very important role in establishing the center. So over to you, Dr. Srijan.
Thank you, madam. And thank you, Professor Lee, for this very informative lecture. You have shown us so many useful data related to bilateral trade, and it was very helpful for us to understand economic relationship of both countries. We have a strong trade relationship in terms of product and investment, but I think one sector is always left is human to human contact. Like I have been living in Korea for many years, and I still see many people has very less information about India, and same is in Korea too. So when we talk about economic, relationship and this kind of, trade relationship, we always forget about this, culture part. Like I haven't seen many Indian tourists in Korean market. Like many Koreans, they are going to India, but still Korean government is not, or Korean tourism sector is not doing well to, advertise Korea in India. And if, like right now, I was talking to one of my friend. He recently visited to Thailand, and he was telling me that before in Thailand there were so many Chinese and Korean and other countries, tourists. But recently when he visited, it's been like 1 month, he told that it was filled with Indian tourists. So nowadays in India, middle class Indians, they have started going outside of India. So why Korea is not capturing that opportunity to take Indian tourists to Korea? And once this human to human contact will establish, then I think it will not only helpful for Korea, but it will be helpful for India too. So what do you think about that? And do from your perspective, is there any plan for Korean government to do something in that sector? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Korea government views about the cultural exchange and the tourism, but lately I'm nearly sure Korea government focus on the India instead of the Southeast countries or China, because you have so many contribute of those countries, and so within the business relations, or we can mostly have can see the exchange, the people to people's movement there. And also the another one is the you are thinking about how to make the people to people contact and channels and the visitings. One is the you need something about the advertising. That's a good idea. So you need the many channels to tell the government that we have to make some channels or the environment for visiting and contacting and with any other like the business. Second one is the traveling is the we have to the open the already open, but it's not easy to make the what is that travel the business environment. My experience a long time ago, I work for the government. At the time, we tried set up the India park or towns in Jeju Island, and we reported the Blue House too about it, but it's not make it because first of all, to set up the Indian town or papers or whatever, then we need the school, Indian school. And second is the broadcasting system. We don't have it. So if you want, if you have to then we will ask the government to set up at least a couple of the Indian schools. And secondly, the introduce the Indian broadcasting system. Some we did the drama, films, and whatever. That's my idea.
Thank you, Professor Lee, for responding to the question. Do we have a question from any of the participants? Please raise your hand through participant window or write it in the chat box. Meanwhile, let me again ask like carry forward the discussion further. Professor Lee, you focused on green energy, and as staying in Korea, we have seen that Korea is doing a lot in this sector. So could you please further elaborate on it for our audience, like what exactly can be the learning experience for the Indians from the Korean, from whatever Korea is doing in the sector of green energy?
Actually, the green energy, you have the tried the what is that introduce the high-tech technologies and any others. Lately, we have the focus on the solar panels and other things, and also we are going to the EV, electronic vehicles, and to reduce the pollutions, air pollutions, and also focus on some factories that to reduce their pollutions. But I just know a solar panel is mostly come from the China. So India also same situation, I think. So it's not good. It's not good if you are focused on the solar panel. But battery is pretty good ones. We can make the cooperations. And second is the what is that storing the energies with the batteries or any others. That's another good field or the items to make the corporations. But best one is the IT, data sectors. You know, the even we are going to the green energy sectors, but we need data. You know, big data, something like it. And so India has the very strong advantage of the data. So Korea is needing more the information or technology about the data collecting and analyzing and something like that. That's my idea.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Lee. And maybe if you can just take one last question. Okay, we have a question from Ms. Shin. Okay, okay, let us first take the question from Shin, then I would raise my last question.
Thank you for your great lectures. I have a question about the Korean and Indian SEPA. You, Professor Lee, told that the SEPA was suspended because of the COVID. So I just want to know how the SEPA will be developed in the future, Korea, and I hope to listen your opinions about the future SEPA, Korea and India.
Thank you. Actually, the big problem is the trade imbalance. If we resolve these issues, then we can go up. You know, the Korea, you know, you have the understanding about the two countries' industrial structure. Mostly the India focus on the services. Even they are trying to upgrade the manufacturing sector, but not much improved. So that's the big you know, the structural change did not happen. And second one is the Korea the you know, the always the seeking the high level skill and technologies, and they move to the more upgraded technologies. So it means it's not easy. Change the structure change. And another thing is the India economic growth is so fast and rapidly growing. It meaning is the domestic demand also increase. So many items which export to the Korea now is observed in India. So that's another problem. So I mean, we need a structural change. Otherwise, we cannot resolve the trade imbalance. So if we only focus on resolving of trade imbalance in SEPA, we cannot go anymore. But you can. So it means you have to change the frame of the SEPA. We are open more service sector, like the language or the whatever the India ask, that's the one the way to go. And the second one is we have to think about the complementary relations with any other things. I mean, with other countries. If we are make the more trade relations with the China, then the trade relations between the two countries, I mean, the Korea and India becomes weak. So we are focused more move to the India, then we can have a more strong relations in the economic relations. Otherwise, it's not easy. Another one is Korea FTA opened so many items, those not open to the India. It's almost 1,700 items there. It's the first time, I think. It's very probably the Korea government doesn't like me mentions about that. Anyway, Korea open to the other countries, but not open to the India. It's about 1,700. Among them, almost 200 Korea government can open. So you can we did that. If you Korea government open those the items, we may improve our SEPA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lee. Just one last question from my side. Again, maybe this could be the last question if we have no other questions from the participants. You elaborated, you briefly mentioned about global value chains. So could you further elaborate on this, like how this is going to be a factor in the economic ties between the two countries?
I know that many people doesn't know the India value chain is pretty high levels. Nobody knows, but only the economists know because there are so many data, but not much revealed there to the public peoples. So we have to identify first what is the best product items for the advantage of the GBC in India. Also, the Korea government only focus on the intermediate the goods or materials. So if you make the introduce the some advantage field of the India with the Korea technology, then you can go any other place like the USA market or EU market and so on. Lately, my colleagues and my friends did the research about the GBC of the India. So they will give us the pretty good result pretty soon, I think. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Professor Lee, for responding to all the questions and your presentation. In fact, you have covered a wide range of issues, and even during the question answer round, you have taken up again and elaborated on many of the issues. I'm sure it would have been a very learning experience for all the participants who are present here today, the students, researchers, and people who are interested in India, Republic of Korea ties. It would have been a learning experience for all of them. And in the end, let me thank all the participants also for your participation on this 4th day of the workshop. Join us tomorrow once again for session 5 of the workshop. And the theme of the session is Environmental Social Governance Landscape in India and Republic of Korea. And the lecture will be given by Mr. Sachin Satpute, who is the president of Novelis Asia. He's also a well-known face in Korea, who was also the former chairman of Indian Chambers of Commerce in Korea. So see you all tomorrow. Until then, stay tuned to our social media handles for more updates about our upcoming events. Thank you all. Kamsahamnida.